Good afternoon. Well, today I'm going to be revisiting my very first video that I ever did, and hopefully this one will be a little better. I'm going to be turning some cabinet knobs and basically going over how to duplicate things without some type of high dollar, really expensive duplicator or some type of really complex duplication device that's shop built. I don't do a whole lot of duplication, so therefore I really haven't built me a duplicator or anything like that. So, but anyway, I'm going to get started out, and the reason I say a revisit on my first video is the man that wanted me to do that came back wanting some more cabinet knobs. And what he does, he restores old furniture, and he does not like to go and buy a bunch of cabinet knobs that have been turned at some factory or whatever. He wants hand turned knobs because there are subtle differences between each one, and he likes that. And the method I'm showing today will not give you a perfect duplication, but it will get you so close that they all look the same, and but you still got that hand turned thing that he's looking for. But anyway, he brought me some poplar, and that's what he wants them to be turned out of. He doesn't want them finished. He wants to do that himself. So what I've done is I've ripped this poplar down. He brought me this. I've ripped it down to width on my bandsaw, and now I'm just getting ready to start getting set up for this. So if you're interested in seeing how I duplicate things without some kind of expensive duplicator, then stick around. I'll be glad to have you. All right, let's get this thing started here. All right. Well, for starters, I need a story stick, and that's what this is going to be. I just used a piece of 1/4-inch plywood because I want it to be kind of permanent in case I ever have to do this again. And of course a ruler, my vernier calipers, vernier calipers. I need to make sure I get that pronunciation right. But anyway, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start measuring this off. Okay, and I'll get my overall height, and I'll just transfer that right to here. Alright, just transfer that up, and then I'll start measuring what I call benchmarks. And if you can see, here's a ledge right here. There's a ledge. I want to get that. I want to get the bottom of this cove, this other ledge, and I want to get the top here of the outside diameter right there. All right, so let's start measuring. All I'm doing is I'm going to measure, and I'm going to transfer. Sometimes these things get really tight. Okay, I measured that. Let me mark this right here as the bottom. Alright, and I'll measure from it. Put my mark. Okay, then I'll measure to the next one, which I'll have to measure it probably from the top, which is right about here. And I'll mark it back from the top. Okay, now those are measured. Now I'm sure the center of that cove looks like it's right between those two ledges, so I'm going to mark this, the center of the cove, right about there. And these are the outside edges of the ledges. So now I got one more measurement to get, and I'm going to come from the bottom to the center, right there, to the center of the knot of the very apex of the curve right there of that bead. All right, and then I'm going to transfer it from the bottom, because it's definitely not the center, and I'll mark it. All right, now I'll make sure these marks are transferred up to here as close as possible. And you could use a square. You could use a square for this. That would be fine. I'm going to transfer these marks on down, trying to stay as square as I can. The only part of this that really needs to be accurate is up along the very top edge, because you're going to use those as your reference. These here are just going to reference down to a little sketch I'll be doing of the part. Okay. All right. Now I have marks for all my little features. Now I need diameters. Okay, so I need diameters. I'm going to start on the bottom, and I'll take this diameter here, which is 2 1/8. It's 2 1/8 right there. So I'll mark this as being 2 1/8. 2 1/8. Right. My next diameter is down here. Okay. And that is going to be 1 inch and 3/16. This is 1 3/16. 1 3/16. The inside diameter of my cove is 15/16. So I'll write that here, 15/16. And I believe this ledge will probably be the same as the other, but I'm just going to double check and make sure. I'm at 1 or 2. I'm at 1 and, yep, 3/16. 1 3/16 again. And then the outer diameter of the knob up here at the very top is 2 1/4. Okay, so that's 2 1/4. Alright, now another thing you can do here, just to help for reference, is you can just draw this down. Just, you know, come down like this, make your little ledge there, ledge here, and draw your cove. And then from here up, you're just gonna go up to the apex here, and then back down to the center, just like that. Very simple. Okay, now you can kind of see what's going on. I've got all my features are marked, all my diameters have been recorded, and I've got sort of a rough diagram of what I want it to look like. Alright, well, I've got this nice piece of poplar here, and this right here is going to be my face, so I'm going to mark this so that I'll know that this is actually the face. Because if you're not careful, if you're cutting these things, you end up with like cubes if you're not really careful, and you may end up trying to turn from the end grain on some and the face grain on some others. Doesn't really matter which way you do it, as long as they're all the same. But I know my biggest diameter is 2 1/4. So when I ripped this down, I went 2 5/8, just to give me plenty of room to true everything up and everything else. Now I'm going to go back to the bandsaw, and I'm going to cut 2 5/8 here, 2 5/8 here, 2 5/8 here, all the way down until I get 8. or possibly 9 blanks, and I'll probably cut 9 just for a safety margin there in case I mess one up. But all right, well, I'm going to get over to the bandsaw and I'll cut these up right quick. We'll be right back. All right, I'm just getting ready to rough this thing down into a cylinder, and I'm probably just going to do that with my bowl gouge here. Now my tenon can't be under 2 inches, so I'm going to go about 2 1/8 just for a little safety there. That way I can get it in my jaws. Alright, now let's just see if we can't square this off. My skew, square this off good. And actually, I need a slight undercut. Okay, that's so that the knob will sit flat on the cabinet. Now, my original knob has got a 1/2 inch dowel hole right here, so I'm going to cut that. It's about 3/4 inch deep, and so I'm going to mark my Forstner bit, which I have here, at about 3/4. All right, and I'll run that up in there. Get this going nice and easy. And I'll just drill this out. Just help keep everything stable as we go. Alright. Now I will take my storyboard. And I'll just line it up right here. Line up the bottom mark with the bottom here, and then I'll start transferring my marks. And then right there on the end. Okay, alright, now all my marks are all here. See if I hit all those, but I didn't. Oh yeah, all but one. Okay, right here. Okay, now I've got my marks made. Now I just need to start with my diameters. I'm looking at my storyboard, and I know the bottom, the very bottom here, has to be 2 1/8. So I'll go ahead and I'll set this for 2 1/8, which it is. And I'll get my parting tool here. Yeah, I'll use the parting tool. there's my bottom diameter. Right there. My next diameter is on this first ledge, which is 1 1/16. One 1/16. And I'll go ahead and I'll do this one and that one. I'm going to use my thin parting tool. That one. Because I know both of these are the same. All right. Now the bottom of my cove is 15/16. So I'll change this to 15/16. And I'll cut down to the bottom of the cove. Okay. That's the bottom of the cove. Is that depth there. Okay. And the last one that I need is right here, which is the top of the bead. The last one I need is the top of the bead. And that'll be 2 1/4. All right. Okay. There's that, and this is the very top. This will be the very top right here. Okay, now all it is connecting the dots. It's just connecting the dots, and I'll do that with my spindle gouge. This rolls into a bead here. Down to the first ledge. This one here. And you can see how this is shaping up here. Right? So I'm going to bring this down to this diameter. going down to that next ledge. It's right there. There's my other mark, so this is where I begin my code. Right down to where my mark is. Now this knob is almost finished as far as that goes. You go ahead and get this diameter already down. Then I'll spin this thing around. All right. Well, all I've done is I took this over to the bandsaw and I just cut that, I just separated this off. So now I'm going to try to make a jam chuck for this mortise here on there to hold everything while I finish everything up. So I'm just going to use my vernier calipers and get this set in here to the right diameter, and then we're gonna turn the tenon right here. Getting close. I don't want any bumps. Okay, well there we go. Well, I've got a decent fit. It's still just a little bit loose for my liking. So what I'm gonna do is gonna put a skeet of water on it. And that'll kind of expand that grain just a little bit and allow this to tighten up without having to keep doing a bunch of, yep, that's already tighter. Alright, now I'm going to move up my tailstock, start getting ready to turn this thing. Okay, just a little pressure from it because I don't want to push that point past where the top of the thing's going to be. Alright, so now we'll just get right back to finishing up. This right here, this edge is going to be the top. And I'm going to keep just a little bit of pressure on it right there. And I'll just start shaking the top. Right here's the center. I'm going to start rolling this edge over. of the skew. Okay, I think I kind of like that. Alright, now I'm just going to sand it up. Just sand it. Well, all right, there we go. Duplicated knob. So only 7 more to go. Anyway, I thought, you know, some people may be interested in seeing that. You don't have to build any real high dollar, you know, duplicating jigs and stuff like that. Of course, if you're doing a lot of duplicating, hey, go for it. But I don't do a whole lot, at least, you know, not yet. But that's a good method. I saw that in a book called Woodturning back when I first got my lathe. And, you know, I was trying to learn how to do stuff. But I saw that method, and it's sound. It really works. And, you know, it's not perfect. You know, it's not a perfect duplication, but it gives you very similar results, and you know, anyway, gives you very similar results. If you need to make some parts and things, this is how the old timers used to do it when they were turning all the handrail baluster things, you know, and all that, and it still works. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this short little project, and I'll see you on down the road.